not only did we get Shooting Quasar Dragon with the new box, we also got a new skill that summons it a lot easier. We basically only need a single Junk Synchron on our third turn to summon it from our extra deck. We also got a similar skill for Shooting Star Dragon where it is released, and it gives us a Junk Converter in the graveyard, so we can revive it with Junk Synchron, make Junk Warrior, get back Junk Synchron, make Stardust, and then use the skill to get us a free Formula Synchron to make Shooting Star Dragon. So that got me thinking, why don't we have a skill like that for Majestic Star Dragon? I mean, this card is pretty hard to summon. It's probably even harder to summon this card than Shooting Star Dragon or even Shooting Quasar Dragon, because it needs a specific tuner in Majestic Dragon, and also it needs Stardust Dragon, and one non-tuner monster that has to be specifically level 1. And since we don't have the Majestic Dragon retrains, like Converging Wills Dragon, and also Arrive in Light, a card that searches it, it's actually a lot harder to summon this card than it is to summon in the TCG, because we have all those other support cards. And also, one big downside of this card is that it goes back to the extra deck during the end phase. It is not mandatory. It is not optional. It is mandatory. So it is a pretty bad card, and we actually do have some skills that help summon these Majestic Synchro monsters. We have actually 2 skills that help, but they don't actually do a lot. They're pretty bad skills. The first one is Majestic Light. You can play this skill by returning a tuner from your hand to your deck, and then play a Majestic Dragon from your deck. And that's it. It doesn't help you summon Stardust, it doesn't help you summon the non-tuner, it doesn't solve the issue of it going back to the deck during the end phase. It just gives you a free Majestic Dragon. Is it even free? You have to return a tuner from your hand to your deck. And the second skill is even worse. This is Majestic Guardian. You can activate the skill when you synchro summon a Majestic Star Dragon or a Majestic Red Dragon. That summoned monster will not return to the extra deck by its effect until the beginning of your next turn. So what the skill does is, it doesn't help you summon your Majestic Dragons, it doesn't help you summon your Synchro, it only prevents it from returning to the deck for a single time. And that's it. That's it. It's really terrible skills. That's why that got me thinking, why don't we make a skill that's actually good, that helps us summon Majestic Star Dragon, like how we have skills for Shooting Star and Shooting Quasar Dragon? So I did a bit of coding and added this new skill to YG Omega. This is a non-official Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator, but it has a Duel Links format, so it has all the skill cards. So let's have a look at the skill that I made. At the beginning of the duel, add a Converging Wills Dragon to the bottom of your deck. If you control a Synchro monster, you can play a Junk Warrior and set a Arrive in Light to your field from outside your deck. The skill can be used once per turn and twice per duel if you begin the duel with a deck that follows the conditions below. Your deck contains at least 8 Synchron or Junk monsters, and your extra deck contains no monsters other than Synchro monsters. So the requirement is pretty similar to Shooting Star Road. It requires you to play Synchro and Junk monsters, but how the skill works is basically it gives us access to these powerful Majestic Dragon retrains that we don't have in the game yet. I don't think these cards are too strong to be added to the game. I think they can be added and no one will play it, but the skill also lets us access it a lot easier. So first of all, it adds it to the bottom of your deck so you don't draw it, and also it sets Arrive in Light directly to your field, so you don't have to draw it or search it. And also it helps us summon Stardust Dragon a lot easier because it gives us a free Junk Warrior. So what you can do is just summon a level 3 Synchron tuner, and then play the skill, and then just put a Junk Warrior on your field, which is level 5, and then you can just make a level 8 Stardust Dragon, and that will trigger Arrive in Light, get you your Converging Wills Dragon, summon a level 1 Dragon for your deck, and that is how you make your Majestic Star Dragon. And also the Star Dragon won't return to your extra deck during the end phase because of your Arrive in Light. Arrive in Light prevents your monsters from being returned to the extra deck. So this is a deck that I made using this skill. I'm playing 3 copies of Junk Synchron because it's level 3. I put Junk Converter to search it, and also because it sends itself to a graveyard as well, we can revive it later with Junk Synchron to make it level 5 Synchros. We're also playing Junk Anchor. This is part of the skill requirement, and it also gives us access to Junk Archer, which is level 7, which you can make using Junk Anchor and your Junk Warrior in your graveyard. And finally, we have a single copy of Stardust Shalong. This is a level 1 dragon that you can summon with Converging Wills Dragon from your deck. We have free tuning to search your synchro monsters, the regular staples, Book of Moon, MST, and combos. Extra deck, of course, we're playing one Majestic Star Dragon, we're playing some generic level 8 synchros, we're playing Stardust, of course, and we're playing 2 Archers and 2 Junk Warriors. Okay, it is the beginning of our turn. We're gonna use tuning to grab a Junk Synchron from our deck, which we will then normal summon, and we can now use our skill to get a Junk Synchron and set an Arriving Light, which we will activate immediately to get a copy of Converging Wills Dragon to the top of our deck, and then we can make a copy of Stardust Dragon. And that will trigger Arriving Light. We'll draw a card, and then when we draw a card, we can activate the Converging Wills Dragon's effect to special summon itself and one level 1 Dragon Monster from our deck. Now we have the necessary materials to make a copy of Majestic Star Dragon, and we can also special summon a tuner from our hand when we make our Majestic Star Dragon because of our Arriving Light, but we don't actually need to do that because we don't actually have any other synchros that we can summon this turn. So I guess we'll activate Junk Converter, pitching the thing, and getting a Junk Synchron for next turn. Okay, set 1, and Majestic Star Dragon's mandatory effect activates, but it won't resolve because of our Arriving Light. Our opponent is playing Resonators. He activates Call. He's a set 1, mandatory effect activates again, it doesn't resolve. That's MST his back row. It's a Floodgate. Okay, let's use Junk Synchron. Revive the Converter. Let's make a Junk Warrior. And then let's revive our Junk Synchron. And Arriving Light will draw a card. And then since we have a Junk Synchron on our field, we can actually use a skill the second time and make another Junk Warrior and set another Arriving Light. So I designed the skill to have a slight drawback if you use it twice. So it gives you another Arriving Light, it actually clogs your back row. Because if you don't have a target in your deck, you can't actually activate this card. So it's just there, it's occupying your back row, but you get a free monster. So that's the design thought of the skill. Let's use our monsters as synchro material, and let's go to battle. Attack with our monster, and we're gonna attack. Okay, now let's try to play this deck another time. This time, our opponent AI is playing for hires. We're gonna normal summon. And then skill. Skill gives us a Junk Warrior, gives us Arriving Light, we activate Arriving Light, get the Converging Wills Dragon to the top of our deck, and we synchro summon a Stardust Dragon. And that will activate the effect of Arriving Light. We draw a card, we activate the effect of the Converging Wills Dragon that we drew. And then we also summon a Stardust Shalong from our deck. And we're gonna make a copy of Majestic Star Dragon. And we're gonna, again, use Junk Converter, set a Book of Moon, and let's end turn. Okay, let's book his for hire. Okay, my turn, I use my Junk Synchron. Let's revive the Converter. And then we can use our skill get ourselves a Junk Warrior and get a useless Arriving Light. And then we can Synchro Summon Junk Warrior, and then use this effect. And also use Arriving Light's effect to draw a card. And now we can make let's make Harpy. And since we activated a Spell Trap effect, we can activate Cyber Slash effect to bounce back an opponent's monster. So we will summon the monster from our hand, we can set one card, go to battle, and that's more than lethal. I would actually really want to see the skill added in Duel Links because I really like Majestic Star Dragon. I think it looks really cool. I think it looks even cooler than shooting Star Dragon or even shooting Quasar Dragon. But it is just too hard to summon, and also its effects are just way too bad because it just returns itself to the extra deck during the end phase, so it's not even worth summoning. But what are your thoughts of this skill? And also, if you were to design a skill yourself, what skill would you make? So anyways, thanks for watching and goodbye.